In this bulletin, we hit the 80s mark in cases. CWM is now a COVID-19 facility. And bread shop takes precautionary measures. Good afternoon. In the highest daily total for COVID-19 infections, Fiji has recorded 83 new cases as of last night. There are few new clusters confirmed, with cases emerging in Naitasiri from various localities outside of the Suvarnasori containment zones. 2 cases are from Matainasau village, one of whom was recently discharged from the Colonial War Memorial Hospital, and 1 case had moved to Tavua village by the time the results were known. There are 1 each cases from Laselevu, Savusavu settlement, and Vuisinga village in Vunindawa. Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong confirms the Naitasiri containment response team has also had to stand down due to exposure to a positive case. 1 case has been confirmed in Tavua, a traveler who recently arrived from Lautoka. Dr. Fong says the other cases are in areas already under containment or lockdown. These are Waila CWM Hospital, the Incident Management Team headquarters in Turak, Suva, and the warehouse in Lami. The other known areas are Daumbati, Navy, Samombula, Shop and Save Supermarket, Nawaka, Nandi, and Navosai in Narere. Colonial War Memorial Hospital will now become a full-time COVID care facility with tight, controlled movement into the premises. Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong says the cluster of greatest concern is at CWM Hospital, where medical teams are going to great lengths to provide critical treatment without exposing themselves and patients to the virus. Dr. Fong says access to laboratory, maternity and pediatric units will be through escalated screening protocols and package decontamination protocols. Dr. Fong confirms a field hospital for the treatment of non-COVID patients in the vicinity of the hospital is being established in conjunction with partners from Australia. The Health Ministry has found that a funeral was held recently with nearly 100 people in attendance. Dr. James Fong says incautious gathering could potentially result in another super spreader event. Dr. Fong has reiterated that only 10 people are allowed to attend a funeral, and it applies before, during and after the funeral protocols. He adds no social gatherings are allowed. Dr. Fong says if we don't respect those rules, then we will have more of our loved ones to bury due to the loss of life that can result from COVID-19. He adds through adherence to health restrictions, severe outcomes can be prevented and the most vulnerable in society can be protected. Hot Bread Kitchen at the LICI building on Butt Street has been closed as a precautionary measure. Hot Bread legal and public relations consultant Sainiana Randrondro says a customer who recently visited the branch later tested positive for COVID-19, and certain measures are being taken to safeguard their staff and the public. Randrondro says the reopening of the branch will be determined once test results of their staff have returned. She says more information will be released after a meeting with stakeholders this morning. A plan has been put together to help control overcrowding at the Sawani border in Naitasiri. This has been done by the Naitasiri COVID-19 Command Center, headed by Subdivisional Medical Officer Naitasiri and assisted by the Provincial Administrator Enroko Tui Naitasiri. Due to the closure of the border in recent weeks, Sawani had been experiencing the flooding of people from the highlands. The Naitasiri COVID-19 Command Center says as a result of the availability of limited space at the Sawani border and the need to minimize the presence of villagers in any day during the week, the team has drawn up a timetable which hopefully will ensure crowd control and effective containment system at the border. It says various districts have been grouped together and allocated separate days to come to Sawani to conduct their business. Up ahead, Naisarani bags a double in Rebels' loss, and Touch Rugby to introduce new courses. Welcome back. Fijian-born Wallabies number 8 Isi Naisarani bagged a double for his Rebels side in a thrilling Super Rugby Trans-Tasman clash against the Chiefs. But the Rebels' gallant effort was not enough as the Chiefs ran riot in the second half to secure a 36-26 win at Leichhardt Oval in Sydney. Touch Federation Fiji is closely working with the Fiji National University to have more courses introduced in the future. This comes after the successful completion of TFF's referee course and the introduction of its coaching course, which has generated a lot of interest from the public. TFF President Tevita Mau says they are working closely with their stakeholders to have these courses continue on post-COVID-19.
Already started off with the referees accreditation, and we will have to take a step into the next level, whereby the phase where the referees that have been accredited to be step into to the next level. And so we've started off with the referees and now with coaches, and these are two components of administration that TFF feels that we need to work with.
The Eels have bounced back into form with a 44 win thanks to a masterclass performance from Fijian internationals Maika Sivo and Wanga Blake against a disappointing Knights outfit. The winger crashed over to score a brace of tries in the 30th and 36th minute, while Blake added a second half try to add to the Eels' victory. A weak trough of low pressure lies slow moving over the group and is expected to affect the group till later tomorrow. That's FBC News Now. Join us for our 1-hour major bulletin at 7 p.m. And be sure to download the FBC app to access the latest in news, sports and live radio broadcasts from any of our 6 FBC radio stations. Stay safe and good afternoon.